If y'all didn't quite get it, let me say it again, I'm here to stay. You know, man, Russ is the reason why this decision is becoming even more easier to make is the character Russ is. Stand-up guy, and he has his teammates back.
Paul George came to the Thunder in the last couple of days and asked to be traded to the Clippers. He wanted to play with Kawhi Leonard.
By now, we all know that Paul George is a Clipper, that he demanded a trade from the Thunder, that he was unhappy with the Thunder and with Russell Westbrook. But why? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. The NBA never stops, man. Now Russell Westbrook will most likely get traded, but this is now the second time in 3 years that an All-Star / MVP candidate has decided to leave Russ. Paul George demanded a trade instantly after Kawhi Leonard asked him to join him on the Clippers. This also comes just 1 year after Paul George decided to re-sign with the Thunder and after saying that he loves Russ. And then he probably saw this throughout this season. So I want to break all of this down and get to the bottom of why NBA stars don't want to play with Westbrook. Please follow me on Twitter for all my takes on my VidCon and cause it's NBA Twitter. And to the 80% that watch my videos that still aren't subscribed, all I'm gonna say is don't be left alone like Russell Westbrook and please subscribe. Paul George just re-signed for a 4-year deal in the 2018 offseason. Remember, Paul George was traded in 2017 with 1 year left on his contract. Many people thought at the time that this would only be a 1-season thing with the Thunder and then he would go to the Lakers. Their season was alright as they finished 48-34 to be the 3rd seed, which fell way below expectations for a team of Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, Melo. While Paul George's usage rate dropped from 28.7 to 24.8, which was to be expected, Russ's also dropped from the ridiculous 40% in his MVP season to 32.6% in 2017-2018, which was still the 2nd highest in the league. That season was filled with weird adjustments, from Russell Westbrook trying hard to get PG to fit in, to then taking over again, to getting Melo integrating the offense. Oh wait, they forgot about that part. They were second to last in passes made as a team, but the icing on the cake were the playoffs. Their first round matchup was with the Jazz, a team led by rookie and Donovan Mitchell, and while that team was solid, the Thunder were the heavy favorites. And then this happened. Ricky Rubio was able to get inside Westbrook's head. Paul George fell for the Joe Ingles trap. After Ricky Rubio dropped a triple-double in Game 3, Westbrook declared that he was gonna shut that stuff out the next game. But Westbrook became uber aggressive in Game 4 and had 4 fouls before the half. He had to be way less aggressive in the second half, which hurt his game. While Rubio was a +22, Westbrook was a -14, even if Westbrook dropped 23 points and 14 rebounds. This was an important Game 4 with the Thunder down 2-1 in the series, and every game is so important in the playoffs in a 7-game series. So for Westbrook's ego to get in the way, that's just immature and selfish. The Thunder went down 3-1 in large part due to Westbrook leading the team down the wrong path. But even with all of this happening, even with the disappointing season and this disappointing playoff series, Paul George decided to re-sign for 4 years, not even taking a meeting with the Lakers where he had originally wanted to go to. Paul George said Westbrook and him had unfinished business. PG also said about Westbrook that it wasn't even about him going beyond and being extra with his efforts. It was about him being himself, him being genuine, him being authentic, him being real. Westbrook was the main reason why Paul George decided to stay, and I'm sure Westbrook is a really good person and teammates must love him. So PG overlooked all what happened the season before and was ready to move forward. Russell Westbrook just had his best regular season in the Paul George era, so basically this season was better than the year before. No, that's not based off the stats, because Westbrook shot a worse field goal percentage, worse from 3, worse from free throw, a lot worse from free throw. But there was one thing that Russ definitely worked on, and that was being more of a floor general. Whether it was the fact that he wasn't shooting well or he knew that he had to take a step back, either way, Russ's usage rate dropped to 30.1, but more importantly, Paul George's usage rate increased to 28.7. There were more times this season that Russ gave up the ball to PG and then let PG operate, especially when he was hot. There were still moments when Russ was Russ and didn't give it to PG when he had the hot hand. Russell Westbrook led the league again in pass to assist ratio, beating out James Harden for how many of his passes are assists. Talk about passing for the assist. But in general, Russ definitely adjusted. The Thunder finished 49-34 in this season, which was only one game better than last year, but what really mattered was the playoffs. It was redemption time for the Thunder, who had severely underperformed last year. Of course, the Trailblazers also had a lot to prove after being swept in the first round last year. After all of that happened last year, you would think that Russ might keep his emotions in check, or at least know how to use them towards his advantage. Who am I kidding? This is Russell Westbrook we're talking about. Throughout all of Game 3, after losing the first two games, Russell Westbrook was celebrating in the face of Damian Lillard. That was contagious as his teammates got in on the action, but see, that didn't really sit too well with Damian Lillard, and, well, Westbrook got his shit rocked. Damian dropped 50 in that Game 5, and if you read some of his comments like telling Westbrook to stop running from this whooping, or how he was amused by a celebration, you can tell that Dame was motivated by Westbrook's antics. And so for the second year in a row, Russell Westbrook's pride and antics hurt his team in the playoffs. But that is who Russell Westbrook is at his core. He's a fiery guy, and there are star players in the league who can be super competitive and be expressive, but I think the most important thing is that with the greats, they know how to use that to their advantage and read the situation really well. This type of problem is similar to how Draymond Green gets technicals when easily baited by the opposing team. Green not being on the floor hurts his team, and we saw that in the 2016 NBA Finals. Russ hasn't adjusted that part of him, and he's 30 years old at this point. Forget about all his basketball talent, it's the intangibles that hurt. Russ also didn't have a good playoff series this year, shooting 36% from the field, averaging 22 shots on 22.8 points a game. Westbrook's lack of shooting was really apparent these playoffs, but let's just push all the basketball talent to the side for the moment and let's shift to Kawhi Leonard. While Kawhi Leonard is super competitive, he is probably the opposite on-court personality that Westbrook is. Kawhi is still
a fun guy,
but his composure and calmness in the biggest moments is special, and that bleeds into his teammates. Look at the Raptors, who were all business and locked in during the finals no matter what was happening. There weren't excessive celebrations over a single win, there was even good sportsmanship. It allowed the Raptors to focus more on the game of basketball. Heck, that's why Paul George wasn't that interested in LeBron James, saying people found it tough to play with him. There's a lot more that comes with LeBron, like all the drama, the blame, the passive aggressiveness. It's a lot. So, like I said, forget that Westbrook's game doesn't fit the modern NBA. Forget that he can hold on to the ball for long periods of time. Forget that he doesn't do much off ball. Forget all of that. Westbrook himself has never changed. Paul George saw that for 2 years in a row, Westbrook's personality detrimentally affected the team. On top of that, we can say that the Thunder really had no way of getting better, with no cap space to add free agents, no quality draft picks, and the only way would be a trade to get a good quality role player. But if the core was with Westbrook, the issue would still persist. Russell Westbrook's personality actually cost them games, and those games were pivotal games in the series. We saw that Durant had a problem in the past with how Westbrook would be adamant that his way is the only way. So despite Russ being this great guy, his refusal to change himself for the betterment of the team is why pairing up with a low-key guy like Kawhi Leonard is so appealing. This might be a wake-up call, and Russ could maybe adjust for once, but unless Russ dramatically changes, Paul George and the Thunder were destined to be a playoffs team and nothing more. But what do you think? Where will Russell Westbrook go, because he's probably getting traded? How will PG and Kawhi work? Drop a like for Kawhi being a fun guy and also a mastermind. I'm at VidCon in California and I see all the support you guys are giving me by commenting finessed on my last video. You seriously the real ones, and if you're still here, comment personality, so I know. Follow me on Twitter and follow me on the gram for the shout out. The Instagram shout of the day goes to OGNO, and the all day notifications watch shout goes to I Love. Thanks for the all day support. Make sure to bell for all day notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button, join the all day community for more fire content, all day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Okay, just hop in my spaceship. Okay, just hop in my spaceship. No, no, no.